update on Miro? Anything new today?
Nothing. I mean, he's here with the group, so obviously a pretty bad cut. But I would call him day to day. We'll see how he feels tomorrow. 24 hours makes a big difference with those type of things.
It's not any kind of concussion protocol or
No,
anything? Okay.
no.
Is there anything about the cut that is inhibiting to his vision, his ability to?
No,
do what he
nothing
needs to
around
do?
his eye. No.
Obviously, we focus on the offensive importance, but when you play a team that forechecks like they do, his
Yeah.
ability to get out of your end, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many reasons why he's important. Can you just describe that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's, you don't replace a guy like that, right? I mean, in our group, he's really unique just because, he has those skills. We don't have 3 or 4 guys like that, and I mean, no one in the league does, but he's the one guy on our team that, really makes plays under pressure to create offense starting in our own end of the ice. He has that ability, and it's special and unique, and if he's not in the lineup, we'll miss that, but that's this time of year. You've got a next man up and someone be ready to go.
After game 2, you said you thought Robertson was getting close.
Mhm.
Obviously, nobody got close last time,
Yeah.
but where do you think he is right now?
Yeah. Last night nobody was good. So I don't think that's changed for me. I think he's working through it. He's getting some opportunities. I didn't think anyone was good last night, so I don't think that's a fair tag just to hang on him after last game.
Is it something where you're thinking about putting Joe back with him on that line?
Well, we look at all those options every day. Bottom line here is game 2, we played one of our best games of the playoffs. That's 24 hours ago. We got to remind ourselves of that. We haven't played 2 weeks of bad hockey here. Now, in a series, you run out of time quickly, but, I think we went through this in the Minnesota series. We didn't panic and overreact, and we worked our way through it, and I'm confident we can do the same thing again.
You mentioned last night the similarities between Game 3 of this series and Game 3 of the Minnesota series. Feels like you could draw that parallel between all 3 games of
Yeah,
both. 1, 2, and
exactly.
3 of
Yeah,
those series.
you're exactly right. It's best laid plans, right? You want to make sure, we didn't want to lose an overtime game 1, right? And probably had some opportunities and maybe even deserved to win game 1, similar to the Minnesota series. We talked about coming into game 3 and not making the same mistake we did in the Minnesota series, and we did. So that's on us. We fell into that trap again. Having said that, we get a split here, win a game tomorrow, we've got home ice back. So that's the goal.
What are the considerations when Miro goes out on the power play? Is it Thomas or Ryan to the first unit, or obviously it ended up being Colin? What are all the options that you consider there?
Well, those 3 guys are our options, right? Or you're looking at 5 forwards. So, we discuss all those things. I think it depends on the night, who's going. Again, I think hard guy to replace, but everyone has to deal with those things, and we'll come up with a plan if he's not available.
And you also kind of have shown that you don't like to change too much, so does that kind of go into not moving Ryan up to the first unit to keep the second unit intact, or?
Yeah, I think all those things. All those things go into the mix.
Okay.
We're gonna come up with the best units we can if we have to. I'm hopeful that we don't have to do that.
Did you like what Colin did in the time he was
I
out?
thought he did, yeah.
It seems like you guys had some great chances.
Yeah, I didn't think our power play was an issue. We didn't score, but I thought Colin jumped in and did a good job in that spot in tough circumstances.
Pete, you mentioned not panicking after Game 3 of the Minnesota series. Did you know that about that group, or this group, before going through that?
No, you learn about your group. This is my first year with this group, so I knew there was a resiliency to the core of this group. I saw it in the bubble, when they made their run to the Stanley Cup final. This is a different team, of course, than that, but a lot of the core is the same. So, you get a feel for the group during the season, and I think all year, I think one of our greatest assets has been our consistency our consistency in our response to adversity. And I expect the same here tomorrow.
I ask you this because you played against Vegas in the playoffs their first year.
Yeah.
Does the Seattle team remind you a little bit
Yeah.
of that team, just in their depth, the way
Yeah.
they forecheck, the four-line rotation?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it really does. And you know what? I think that's the benefit of being an expansion team, right? You get 4 lines of second and third line players, and 6 second and third and fourth defensemen. That's kind of the pool you're picking from. You maybe don't have that elite superstar, but your strength is in your depth. And what do they've got? 220 goal scorers on their fourth line, or that's unheard of in this league unless you're in that situation.
What's it like to coach against that, right? They had 5 different goal scorers in game
Yeah.
1, 7 different
Yeah.
goal scorers last night. There's no one
Yeah.
you can match up against.
Yeah. Well, we've just got to get the job done. I think every team has strengths and weaknesses, and that's obviously their strength. And I thought we had a real good plan and executed in game 2, and that's our formula. We just, you get to the playoffs, it's who can get to their game and impose it on the other team for longer. And, they've imposed their game on us 2 of the 3 games, so we've got to fix that.
Does Jake's record after losses give you a lot of confidence?
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah, I have no doubt about his response.
Just curious too. The second period, you had 17 shots.
Yeah.
Like, you had chances.
Yeah.
Like, when you went back and looked, like, was
Yeah.
it as bad as it looked? Like, could it have been? If a couple pucks go in, it didn't look so bad, or?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I think during the season when we've had stretches like that, Jake's bailed us out. I think it was a perfect storm last night. We didn't play great. He didn't help us like he usually does. So, but I think in this league, at the end of the day, most nights you get what you deserve, and we deserved to lose last night. Whether Jake would have stole us a game or not, I think the right team won last night, and we've got to fix that.
Given that it was, like you're saying, just kind of across the board, is that
Yeah.
the cliche, burn the tape and just move on type of game?
Well, you don't burn the tape. We've got lots of things to learn from that tape. So we went through that, but we got a smart group. We know what we've got to fix, and I'm confident we're going to respond.